When we see what he sees, we're filled with joy. When we see his star, we can worship him and be filled with delight in the midst of our 2020, in the midst of our circumstances. It's not like I all of a sudden prayed this verse, spent time with the Lord, and all my problems went away, but I realized that my problems were getting all my attention, and his perspective is what I needed to be focused on. We all pulled over to the side of the road yesterday night to see Jupiter and Saturn cross paths from our perspective. Let's see his perspective. Let's let him be our star. He wants to give direction and perspective and illuminate your Christmas. Hey, I'm Jody.
And I'm Chris.
And we are Loving the Outcome. Welcome to our podcast.
We're a husband and wife who rock out together.
We're parents of Milo and Ziggy.
And we're following Jesus as best we can.
Our story began in Winnipeg, Manitoba, where we fell in love, got married, and decided to sell everything and travel in our Jetta, selling CDs out of the trunk of our car.
The road led us to Nashville, where we signed a record deal, started our family, and now the four of us travel together in our minibus, White Neptune.
I know, crazy, right? Our life is a road trip.
And we want to invite you into it.
So come along for the ride as we chat with some of our favorite people about family, spirituality, wellness,
and of course, music.
Come on, let's go. Merry Christmas Eve.
Eve.
Everyone.
Hi, friends.
Well, this is kind of last minute, but we're like, man, we want to put out a quick Christmas Eve episode.
Yeah.
As we're processing and living through Christmas 2020, we thought let's share our thoughts.
I've got my patron saint of Christmas movies shirt.
For those of you that can't see, it's
Clark Griswold.
Clark. I need another coffee.
Hark the Herald Griswold. The Griswold family Christmas tree.
Oh man, we haven't even watched that yet this year, and that's like our favorite one.
They always wait till the last minute to let it release it onto like Netflix or something.
Teasing us.
Just teasing us.
Well, before we jump into this episode, we wanted to take a second to talk about something you've already heard us talk about on our socials because we're really passionate about it. Generally speaking, we're on a Christmas tour, sharing it at our shows.
Yep.
But you and I were like, duh, let's do it from home. Like, just because we're not on the road.
Yeah. I mean, everyone, as many people as possible have been tuning in to our Worship Wednesdays and all your amazing Christmas posts.
Well, for those of you that don't know, Hope and Healing International basically helps cure illnesses in kids living in poverty. A lot of them living in Africa. Things like club feet, cleft palates, things that we with our money can heal. So that's why we call it sending a healing hug.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful because there's a beginning, middle, and an end to this story. The beginning is a bear is sent to your little one to take into surgery with them. You get a little bear as well. And then they hold it during surgery. And then post-surgery, you get updates and pictures of the healing that is taking place over the course of a year. So that's really what it is. It's for less than $1 a day. Your healing hug will give a child life-saving, ability-protecting medical care. A cuddly bear to hug during the tough visits and surgeries and all the needles that no kids ever like getting.
And for our YouTube friends, this is a picture that you get sent, and Prudence is holding a bear.
And it's just
like
so
that.
you know, like we have about 8 little ones on our fridge, and you don't just get one picture. You get before and after surgery pictures. You get the medical updates and records. You are literally taken along for the journey. And I think that's what our favorite thing is as a family is it can feel really daunting and unending sometimes when you don't get to be in on the arc of this kid's story, but you get to be in on it. You know what you're healing, you know how you're helping, and you get to see the success of it all at the end. So we just want to really be bold this Christmas, and we're not going to stop talking about it. It's going to continue all year.
This is the beginning. And,
yeah.
What's really cool is, it is something that we've talked about a lot on the road, and it's just sort of become more part of our lives.
Yeah,
and
it's an extension of our family and what we do.
And I remember when they first sent us information about about, the stats and all the great work that they do, mostly in Africa and Uganda. And I was like, I wrote down a list of all the things that I wanted to say and had my stuff all organized. And then the next day they sent a video of a little boy who had been given a healing hug, and his name was Bernard. And I watched it, and I was basically just weeping on the floor, because when our boy Ziggy was born, we decided to name him after Jody's dad, and his name is Bernard as well.
Yeah.
So it was just like that extra little, nudge in my heart.
Yeah.
That these were the people that we wanted to work with.
Yeah, exactly. And whether you're in Canada or America, there's a little tab that you just click the flag that you're associated with, so you can help pretty much worldwide. And
did we mention the website already?
No. Why don't you go for it?
www.lovehealinghugs.com. LOVEHEALINGHUGS.com.
Yeah, and maybe for those of you watching the video, why don't we cut to that video of Bernard so everyone can get a look at what we're talking about?
I think that's a great idea.
This is my son, Bernard. He wants so much to be and play like the other children. But he can't. Instead, he suffers every day. As a father, I would do anything for my son. I love him, but sometimes this is not enough. They say they can heal my boy. I told them, I work hard, but I have no money to pay for it. They told me someone in Canada is paying to heal my son.
For over 100 years, Hope and Healing International has helped break the cycle of poverty and disability for thousands of children in the poorest communities. But we can't do it alone. For $30 a month, you will directly fund the surgeries, medical care, and rehabilitation for a child who would otherwise go untreated. A child just like Bernard. We will send you a picture of every child you help, their treatment plans, and progress reports. And each child we treat on your behalf will receive this bear to hug on their journey ahead. All you have to do is go online or call now. It's that simple.
Thank you for making my son smile again.
Yesterday on social media, I posted my Christmas prayer, something that I have been asking Holy Spirit every morning of this December 2020. God, help me let go of what I think Christmas is supposed to be, what it's supposed to look like, and embrace what it is, because there's always a gift. I don't know about you, but I find myself looking back at pictures from years gone by and what I was doing this time last year, what shows I was playing, what treat from my mom's Christmas platter I was devouring, and all the family pictures, all of it. It's really tough to not get stuck in the past and to get stuck in expectations of what we all think Christmas is supposed to be, how it's supposed to feel, how it's supposed to look, what it's supposed to taste like, the parties we're supposed to host. And it's just none of those things. It's not normal. It's anything but normal this year. But Jesus came in unusual circumstances, so he can meet us in our unusual circumstances, right? That's really what I want to talk about today. It's a really simple, short podcast from my heart to yours on how God's been answering my prayer, how I've been able to see different, see him different, and experience Christmas differently in 2020. I was talking to my grandma on the phone, FaceTiming, in fact, with my grandma. And we were sharing what we'd baked for Christmas this year and all the things. And then she got really teary and she said, I'm really so happy to see your face, but I'm fighting back the tears because I really miss you so much. And she said, but you know what? I'm still so full of joy because I've been through so much worse. That was my first clue, my first sneak peek into how God was answering my prayer of helping me to embrace what Christmas is this year. Talking to my grandma on FaceTime, talking to my family. It's so easy to get stuck on, I would be at a family gathering, but instead the Lord's been showing me, pick up your phone, call, FaceTime as many times as you need to. Let's bring each other into our moments. Let's love through the miles. It's not the same, but it can still be really special. I think we might just set up my grandma on FaceTime while we eat our chicken on Christmas Eve. And that's what it's going to look like this year. And that's going to be a gift that we will always remember, the year when. And so I don't know where you're at this year. I don't know if you are maybe sick with COVID. I don't know if some of your family members are sick. I don't know if you're all alone, like my grandma in her apartment, or my other grandma in assisted living, just hanging out in her room by herself. I'm not sure if your plans have been undone, things that you thought were really strong and rooted and grounded, that maybe they've fallen apart this year. Maybe you're really busy on the front lines and you're working and you just are stressed from all the overwhelm of patients and how to solve the problems of COVID. Maybe you're trying to figure out all this vaccine stuff and how to move forward. There's a lot. It's just a lot. So wherever you're at, I hope these few little illuminated steps that the Lord has given me can help you too. The first thing that always helps me, number one, is my verse of the day. I always start with the Word of God and I just sit there until I feel like I get a revelation. I read Matthew 2:10 and it said, when they saw the star, they rejoiced and had great delight. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with great delight. What that means to me in Christmas 2020 is that I need God to illuminate the places that feel dark this Christmas. I need a star. I need His light. I need His clarity. I need His wisdom as I try and move through this season. I need Him to literally guide me, to be my guiding light, to be my star. Because what happens when God brings light to the dark, lonely, scary, overwhelming, stressful parts of my life is that I get clarity in His perspective. And as soon as I can see His perspective, not just my earthly perspective, there is a joy, there is a peace, there's a release that comes on going, oh, right, I'm not in this by myself. I am being led. I am being guided. There is wisdom being given to me. I am not alone. And even just saying that out loud right now, peace passes all understanding and washes over me and helps me see as He sees. Then I don't miss the gifts of this Christmas because He's always moving and He's always up to something good. But we can be so stuck in the past, so stuck in worry, so stuck in anxiety that we miss the gift of His presence. But we have to be present to Him to get that gift. So when they saw the star, they rejoiced with great delight. Where do you need to see the star? Where do you need His light to bring life and delight and joy? Where do you need it? Because step 2 is just naming the things that you're hurting over, the ways that you're feeling let down, the dreams and plans that have been devastated and left in the rubble, the things, the sickness, the people maybe that you've lost, just whatever it is, you have to feel to heal, like I said on the last podcast. So I think after we read a verse, it's not just a verse on a page, ancient truth that's not applicable now, it's alive and active. So we read, when I saw the star, when I see the star, when I see His light, when He brings light and life to my path, where do I need that light? Where do I need that shift? Where do I need to see His perspective? That's step number 2. And then number 3 is leave space for God to fill. I mean, that's literally Mary was pregnant with Jesus, he filled up all of this space within her. We need to leave space for him to fill. If we fill it all up, trying to do it ourselves and trying to make Christmas what we think it's supposed to be, and we're just hustling around, spending money we don't have and don't need to be spending, all the things we do to sort of make ourselves feel like this is a Christmas too, remember, all our efforts are wasted if it's not coming from a space and an initiation from Holy Spirit. Just ask him even right now, like, God, what are you doing this Christmas in my heart, in my life, through my family? Maybe the very thing I'm longing for is what you're asking me to do. Maybe I'm feeling lonely. Maybe I need to go bring cookies to my neighbor. Don't need to go in the house because COVID, but drop them on the front step. Like, just ask the Lord, how do you want to fill up the space in my life this Christmas? What gifts do you have for me that I'm missing because I haven't been present to your presence? God, help me to let go of what I think Christmas is supposed to look like and embrace what it is. Leave space for him to fill. Because when we see what he sees, we're filled with joy. When we see his star, we can worship him and be filled with delight in the midst of our 2020, in the midst of our circumstances. It's not like I all of a sudden prayed this verse, spent time with the Lord, and all my problems went away. No. But I realized that my problems were getting all my attention, and his perspective is what I needed to be focused on. Just like we all pulled over to the side of the road yesterday night to see Jupiter and Saturn cross paths from our perspective. Let's let him be our star. Let's see his perspective. There's something to that. He's always up to something good, and he wants to guide. He wants to give direction and perspective and illuminate your Christmas. He doesn't see this as a wasted Christmas. He sees this as a special one with gifts that he has just for you. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with great delight. I'm praying that this Christmas, as you see and feel him guiding you through, that you can receive the gift that he has for you. Love you. Merry Christmas.
Hey friends, who needs more Christmas music?
Always, every day, Christmas music on repeat in our house. And if you guys do not have our Christmas songs album, it's not too late. Head on over to iamjodyking.shop, grab our Christmas album, and you can grab my solo Christmas record while you're at it. Merry Christmas, everyone. Before we go, I wanted to take one more chance to remind you about Healing Hugs. Go check out www.lovehealinghugs.com. Change a child's life this Christmas. Living in poverty, unable to pay for the surgeries that they need, we can do that. We can send a healing hug across the miles this year. And this bear is like the cutest thing on the planet. So go check it out. Pick out a smiling face to send a miracle to this Christmas. lovehealinghugs.com.